probably started the live 1 minute early, so here we are. I bumped it. Also, I have a cough drop in my mouth. It's coldies.
What is happening here?
My thing's going live, Mom. Hi. Welcome. I'm trying to balance my battery pack. Oh, I didn't take a nap before this, Mom.
Yeah, it was tragic.
I don't know how I'm going to make it through. First things first, I would like to show you guys my tomato harvest. I'll be right back.
You're just gonna leave it blank right there?
Yeah, Mom.
Guys, Camrey is terrible. Do you see that? Hi, Nancy. I'm Camrey's mom. Hi, Ari Smith. Hi, Knocked Out. I got an ad also. Cat Shearer / Aloha Girl. Hello. We used to live in Arizona. I used to live in Arizona. It's very hot. Katie Bridgeforth. Hi. Who else do we have? Jaden Ledford. Natasha Crass. Ellie Neville. Kaylee Binyard.
I'm back, Mom.
No, I have one more thing to say.
You're always going to have things to say.
Laura Muldowney. Go ahead.
These are my tomatoes, everyone. I grew them in my garden. They're beautiful. I have big ones that are called big beef tomatoes. And I have little ones, little Romas. Thank you for saying beautiful tomatoes. Maybe I should take them to go harvest strawberries. Do you guys want to harvest some strawberries?
They do not. They want acting lessons.
Well, it's not going to take the whole hour.
It's kind of boring, Camrey. You can ask. What are your tomato plans?
My tomato plans are to eat them. And give a lot of them away because I have so many coming. Oh. I had some today on a piece of toast. Guys, this is the secret delicious meal of my summer. It's not a secret because I'm going to tell you. Tomatoes. Well, you take like one tomato, and then you get the Kalamata olives. Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Slice those up.
Those are the purple olives.
Yeah, the purple olives, the fancy ones. Cut those up. Cut up your tomatoes into chunks. Put them in a bowl. Mix them all together. A little red wine vinegar. A little olive oil. Some oregano. Some parsley. Mix it all up. Ooh, a tiny bit of garlic. And then get a piece of toast, preferably homemade wheat bread. You toast it. Well, you get a piece of bread. You put it in the toaster. You toast it. You pull it out. You spread some cream cheese on it. And then you spread this olive tomato, whatever it is. It's like a topping. What is that called?
It's like a bruschetta, but
it's a bruschetta.
But it's not made with.
But it's not bruschetta.
Ingredients.
An olive tomato salsa. And spread it on your toast. Oh, it's so good, you guys.
Jaden says we need to do a live stream just about food. I'm so hungry now.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Kat Shearer says, do you have theater tips for me because I'm in Frozen Junior play?
I sure do, and they're coming your way.
Mia is going to audition for that.
Hey,
Mom is behind the camera.
I should tell you guys that today we're going to talk about acting stuff. And if you have a specific question you want to make sure that it gets answered, go to the link in the description, and there is a Google Doc there, or a Google form thing, and type your question in the description. Does that make sense? Click on the link in the description. It will open up a form, type in your question, and we will see it.
I'll put the link in the comments as well.
Okay.
Is it weird to have someone speaking but not on camera?
Is it weird to have someone speaking but not on camera?
Jaden likes your hot air balloon picture in the background.
Thank you. I painted it. Here. This is my show and tell live.
Katie wants you to publish this recipe.
This is my picture that I painted. Hey, message me on Instagram. Message Working Clemens on Instagram, and we'll send you the tomato olive topping thing. We usually have it on chicken. It's really good on top of grilled chicken. That's usually how we eat it. But I had leftovers, and then I discovered that it's amazing on toast. Here's another question for you guys. This is the catch-up of my week, okay? We're not doing acting lessons yet, but that will be coming. I don't like this black TV behind my head.
You can move it. So if you know that that's
not
a
worth
huge
it.
pain. Just angle your chair that way. And angle the camera.
No, it's not worth it. I just don't like it. It's the same
Lazy.
color as my hair. Oh, what did I do this week? What did I do this week?
They asked, you should talk about the your auditions. Were you going to give them a breakdown of those?
Sure. What did I do this week?
I don't know. You were about to give a catch up on Camrey. Did you tell them you're going to be in Yellowstone?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, I think you are.
They probably don't watch
Yeah.
Yellowstone because it's
got bad language.
got bad language. My scene doesn't. But yeah, I'm gonna be in Yellowstone. I'm gonna be a little receptionist who types on a computer. But I was gonna tell them that I just finished reading Mistborn. So my husband and he's been reading Mistborn to me, and it's really good. And we just finished the first book, and I loved it. So you should read it. Or you should have Jeremy read it to you because he's really good. Also, I'd like to introduce you to my soulmate sweater. This is my favorite sweater ever, probably. I got it yesterday, so time will tell. But I really like it. It's very comfy, and it's very me. Have I ever been in a hot air balloon? No. I almost went once I think we were going to try to go for a day activity for one of our dances, but it didn't end up happening. That'd be fun, though. Have you guys ever been in a hot air balloon? Tell me. Okay, the other things that I did this week, I taught a couple acting lessons. I have some of my friends and / acting students are prepping for auditions for A Christmas Carol at Hale Center Theater. So I was helping them prepare their auditions and stuff. And what's funny about this situation that I laugh at all the time is I give lessons to Andrea Adamson, who plays Rapunzel on our channel. And frequently I am helping her prep for the same audition that she will be competing against me for. So I'm basically like helping my competition. But it's good. It's fun. It's better that way.
Did she get that part? You guys both?
No, neither of us heard about it. So
Is it done?
they said they were supposed to call us yesterday if we got it. So I'm assuming that we did not. Yeah. So Andrea and I do a lot of acting stuff together because she'll like come over and work scenes with me, and then sometimes we'll go to the audition of the scenes that I've been working with her together and compete against each other for the part. So anyway, we were working Christmas Carol stuff. Ari was here, Andrea was here, Chelsea was here last night. And those auditions are this Saturday. So wish them luck. I luckily get to skip the audition because I was in it last year. That doesn't mean that I automatically get cast. I still have to go to callbacks and try to win the role, but I don't have to audition. I think that's everything that happened in the last week. Just a bunch of auditioning and stuff. Ruru, what are you doing? You want to come up here?
Danielle wants to know who's your favorite Stranger Things character?
Steve. Easily. He's the best. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but Steve's probably my favorite.
Danielle wants to know if you have a Snapchat.
I don't ever use it, so I'm not going to give it out.
We do have a Working with Lemons Snapchat.
Sort
but
of.
also
It's
no one
actually
ever
just
uses it.
Dad's.
Oh, you're right.
He doesn't use it for Working with Lemons.
Yeah.
So no, the best way to stay in touch with us is
Instagram.
Rue's totally looking at camera.
Good job, Rue.
Good job, Rue. Good girl.
Okay.
Okay, let's answer a question or 7
Where are they?
on the Google thing.
Okay, here's the first one. It doesn't say who posted it, so I'm sorry, we can't give you that, but.
It does it? It's anonymous?
Oh, I used to look at the individuals. When did you start acting? Nope, it doesn't say who it is.
Okay. When did I start acting? So, the answer that I usually give is when I was 11, I think. Technically speaking, I think my first ever production was my kindergarten circus production. Just like the whole class had to do it. So I don't really count that one because it wasn't something that I auditioned for. But I guess if you're trying to speak as literally as possible, first time I like performed on a stage in a role was in kindergarten, and I played a ballerina with my friend Jacqueline. She was my other ballerina. But I also remember what year was Aladdin at school?
Oh, I don't know, 4th grade, 5th grade.
Why did I decide that I wanted to audition for that?
Well, what was funny is you decided you wanted to audition for it, but you decided that you didn't want to. You didn't really audition. You chickened out.
Yeah, my memory is that I have a memory of deciding that I wanted to audition for Aladdin, probably because Talise was auditioning.
Yeah. Or because your mom made you.
I don't think you did. I feel like I came to you and you were like...
you sang so cute. All I want is a room somewhere.
But why would I have sung that song without...
You didn't know how to do anything at that point. And I think you ended up singing Gifts of a Little String.
Yeah. Oh, it's all coming back to me. So I think it was 2nd grade, maybe?
No.
First grade?
No, it was after 3rd grade for sure.
Okay.
Or maybe 3rd grade.
So let's say 3rd grade. And I wanted to audition for, my elementary school was doing Aladdin. And I apparently prepared the song, Wouldn't It Be Loverly? Still a dream role of mine. And I remember distinctly walking into the room for the audition and like being so afraid. And then I made you come in the room with me, I think. And I was like holding on to you. I don't remember if this is true. This is how it is in my mind. And I ended up not singing my audition song, and I sang Gifts of the Little Stream. And they generously put me in the children's chorus that came on and sang A Whole New World at the beginning, and that's all we did.
You should probably move on to the next question. You can go back to that.
Well, we have a whole hour.
And you have a whole 40 minutes now.
A whole 40 minutes. Okay, anyway, so I'll give you the abridged version then. The real first show that I auditioned for, that I consider the first show that I did really, is Seussical, the musical, at Murray Amphitheater with Robbie. We decided that we wanted to do that after we had done a different elementary school show, A Kid Summer Night's Dream. Robbie played Nick Bottom and I played a fairy. So then we were Who's in Seussical, and then we started taking acting lessons and stuff, and the rest is history.
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, next question.
How do you tackle roles that are emotionally hard for you? For example, roles that hit close to home or relate to past difficult experiences.
Okay. In some ways, I don't know how to answer this one exactly, because I'm trying to think if I've ever played a role that really hit me in the soul. There's some. I definitely related to Eliza in some ways. My husband has never had an affair. Don't worry about that part. That's not the part I related to. But definitely other elements of her story are close to mine. And just some other things. I guess usually when I have emotionally taxing roles, I find it helpful, and I think everyone approaches this their own way, but find what works for you. For me, I'm a very emotional person. I didn't used to be this way, but I am now. I cry about everything. So if I'm working like an emotional song in voice lessons, or when I played the autistic girl in Mockingbird, what I had to do is do it a few times where I just was like letting everything out, and it's scary. It's scary to just like let yourself go. And it's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be good, because you're just going to be like a mess while you kind of purge the emotions. And sometimes that's in front of people, or sometimes that'll be you working through it by yourself with those emotions. But after you have kind of like let everything come pouring out, then you can sort of reel it back in and still have the emotional truth, but be able to present it in a way that's beneficial for storytelling. I don't know if that makes any sense. But sometimes when things are too emotional, it's not as effective. You know, if someone's telling a sad story and they're just like sobbing the whole time, then it's not going to be as effective as if they restrain it a little bit and let that emotion come through at the right moments.
That's good. Okay, what is the difference between film and theater?
The sweater's really warm. It's summertime, you guys, but I love this sweater so much that I just decided to wear it today. It's overcast. The difference between film and theater. There are many differences. If we're just talking acting styles, excuse me, then the biggest difference is that in film, it's all happening like right here. The camera's like right close on your face, so you don't have to project your performance. In film, you want to be more real. You want to feel the emotion. You don't have to worry as much about showing it. You always want to feel the emotion, by the way. That doesn't go away when you go to theater. But in film, you don't have to worry about projecting your performance because the camera's right here. And in theater, you got to be bigger. So you still want it to come from an honest place so that it's believable, but you just take that and you amp it up more so that you're sharing that honesty with a massive auditorium instead of just a camera crew that's right here.
That's good. What is the process like of auditioning for a role? Then I have a question for Anson that maybe I can answer. This is a question for Anson. How did he get a role on Andy Mack, and what was that audition process like for him? Let's start with the first one. It's actually the same.
Yeah, so this, I'm assuming you're talking about film, so we're going to talk about film. I can answer it for theater if someone wants to drop that question in the link. But for film, so we're signed with an agency here in Utah, and our agent will come to us with auditions. Did Andy Mack come through McCarty, or did it come through?
It came through McCarty.
Okay, Anson also has an agent in California. So anyway, our agency will reach out to us and just say like, hey, these people are looking for this type of role. Either we'll submit ourselves for the role, or McCarty will just submit our headshot and resume to them. And then out of the millions of headshots that they get, they choose some people who they think have the right look for the role or the right experience, and they'll call us into audition, and then we go into a room, we do our audition, and usually that's all you hear. Like 9 times out of 10 or more, that's the end of the audition process for you. You will never get a call back or never hear whether or not you got cast or whatever. So you just walk out of the room and forget about it. If you're lucky, then they'll call you back. But for film, you just never expect that, because there are so many times when you just don't hear anything. You get a call back, do that. And did Anson have to do like a screen test or anything?
He did not for that. He's done that for other stuff. I'll come over and talk about Anson for a sec. You want me to do that now?
Sure. Here comes Mom to talk about Anson on Andy Mack. Should be off center, but we're not going to move the camera.
That's right. The elusive mom. The floating head. Okay, so Anson, so how did he get a second agent? Someone asked that in the chat. After we did Do You Want to Build a Snowman, we had a manager.
This is not the Andy Mack question.
It's good. It's working up to Andy Mack question.
Okay.
After we did that thing, we low battery.
It should be charged. Okay, hold on. You answer this. I'll go get
okay.
the other charger.
Okay, so anyway, we had a manager contact us and say, hey, I'd like to represent your kids in Los Angeles, and I was like, I don't think so. But I checked her out, and she was really family friendly, and she was legit. She was legit, and she was really working. I told her my hesitations, that I didn't want my kids, that I wanted to be in control of what content my kids did and stuff, and she's like, I totally agree with that. So we signed with her, and then we went to Los Angeles, and she had an agent that she likes to work with who actually signed Ari and Porter and Mia and Anson, I think. All 4 of those younger kids. And we went, Camrey was signed with a manager for a little bit, and like halfway signed with this one agent for a little bit. But anyway, we didn't end up doing much of that. Anson filmed a pilot with CBS. And when you work in Los Angeles, you have to have a work permit. Like, you have to have good grades if you're under 18. You have to have a work permit that you have to fill out every 6 months, and you also have to have what's called a Coogan account, where they take some of your money and put it in a forced savings, so your parents or you can't blow all your money before you're 18. So with those 2 things in place, when they do Andy Mack here, Anson is, I believe, at least I don't know if they have yet, but for a long time he was the only local that they cast with more than just a little tiny role. Like he was the only recurring role that they hired a local. They pretty much just cast everyone from Los Angeles. So, and I think it's because he had the Los Angeles experience that he was able to land the role here.
Frequently, I consider moving to Los Angeles for like
Just to have that.
for like 3 months, so that on my resume here it says LA talent, because that
Yeah.
makes a world of difference. It shouldn't. It
Yeah.
shouldn't make a difference, but it does.
Yeah. So, like, I had my other kids auditioned for Andy Mack a few times and never got in. But I think because Anson was all set up with an agent, not an agent, with his like work permit and Coogan account and stuff. Because locals don't have those because they're for California, but they still want him on Andy Mack. So anyway, that's how he got on Andy Mack. And
This is your job.
oh shoot, yeah right. Bye.
Okay. Next question.
Next question, and we got a lot more. We gotta hurry.
I know. I took a long time.
Someone was being distracting at the beginning.
How do you get roles and how do you get better?
The answer to both of those is consistent work and just continuing to do stuff. But also, I would say there are people who work or who have technically been in the theater industry or film industry for a long time, and they don't book a lot. And they're kind of like, oh, well, why me? Like, why is this not happening? Pity me. And they're not willing to put in the work. So really, you need to always be trying to learn. If there are classes you can be taking, that's really helpful. And just continue to do stuff. And look at every opportunity you do as an opportunity to, one, learn. So like whatever process you're in, try to take whatever you can from that. Never assume that you know everything. You can always learn something from a project. And also as an opportunity to meet new people and to make connections. Would you
Okay.
throw me that lotion next to you?
Jeez, it's like grooming time on.
Yeah, my hands are dry. I was just noticing them.
Okay, here's another. This is kind of a long one. Oh no, not this one. When did you start to think that acting in theater was what you wanted to do?
Probably
You were 12.
6th grade, yeah. When I first discovered Wicked. That was definitely the musical that made me decide that I wanted to act, which is funny because I don't even have goals of being on Broadway now. I'd much rather do film, but at the time, that was my dream. Me and my best friend Jessie, we would in the living room act out all the songs and block out all the scenes, and yeah, and that's about when I got my acting coach and got signed with my agent and stuff. Next.
Yeah, sorry, I'm posting the thing. Okay. How do you suggest I find a monologue?
Okay, you're not gonna like this answer. And I think this one said that they have an audition like in a week.
Yes.
If you're auditioning for a musical, it's hard because you don't want to choose a monologue from a musical. Musical monologues are 9 times out of 10 bad, and if they're good, then everyone's gonna do them. My only advice really is to go read a lot of plays. There are a couple websites, and I usually say to not use websites because everyone will be using websites, but there are some that I found that just like list all the a bunch of monologues from like all the plays, and I don't remember what it's called.
Who's right? What's
Utah Actors, I think is maybe what it's called, .com. Not Utah Actors. Sorry, that's not it.
There's that one that has just film scripts. Drew's something, DREW''S, Drew's something with, and he has tons of monologues.
I don't
just
know what
pulled
you're
from lots
talking
of different
about.
Movies. It's a really good one. I used to have the whole thing printed up. It was like 300 pages.
Okay,
It was really good monologues in it.
she says that.
Drew's, I wish I could remember. I'll see if I can find it.
I'm looking it up too. I'm looking my thing up. It's not Utah Actors. I don't know why I said that, but
Drew's Scriptorama.
Drew's Scriptorama, my mom says. I've never seen that site,
I'm
so
gonna post it.
I cannot condone or endorse it. Wait, what does condone mean?
Condone means forget, like to.
Oh, I
Say
can
it's
I
okay.
can neither endorse nor unendorse it. The site that I have used sometimes is what's it called? Monologues.
can't find.
Ooh, it's called Stage Agent. StageAgent.com. That's probably the best website I found for theater monologues. My other advice for monologues is like when you find a good monologue that you love and it's not completely overdone, save it. Like hold on to those and don't tell everyone about them. That sounds counterintuitive because usually I believe that you should share the good and share advice with people. But when it comes to good monologues and really good audition songs, I say keep those to yourself so that they stay good.
That's good. I can't find Drew's Scriptorama is more like a good place to find something if you think that there's like you remember a scene from a movie and you're like, ooh, that'd be a good one, and then you can go to Drew's Scriptorama to find it.
Cool.
So I'm going to
Next
post
question.
that link. Okay.
Will you post a link to Stage Agent too?
Yep. That's kind of a lot of questions in one. We'll go back to some of those, I think. Who would you like to play on Broadway?
Mayla Ewell in To Kill a Mockingbird. Also Annie Sullivan in The Miracle Worker. Also Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady. And Amalia in She Loves Me. And Clara in Light in the Piazza. And a lot of things.
Stage Agent is all one word?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, how do you be your best if you're just an extra?
Being a good extra means just show up on time, be professional, don't be obnoxious on set, like kind of stay out of people's way, which I get is sometimes the opposite of what you want to do because you like want to get noticed and you want to maybe try to like upgrade your role. You will rarely, it's so rare that extras get upgraded to a role, and if you do, it's just going to be because you were in the right place at the right time.
Or had the right look.
Or you had the right look, or, yeah, so, like, how to be a good extra is just, like, do your job, don't be distracting.
Your job is to blend in.
Yeah, your job is to blend in. Your job is not to, like, stand out and be the star.
Something also about extras is if you do extra work, it's a good experience to find out what it's like on a film crew, but on a film set, but you probably don't want to include extra work on your resume.
Unless you have absolutely nothing else.
If you have nothing else, then put that on. But
Yeah, so extra work is not, it's a good thing. If you like being an extra, then great. If you're trying to be an extra in hopes that it will get you bigger roles, it's probably not going to. They're kind of different worlds.
And a lot of times casting directors will look at that. If they see a resume full of extra work, they'll be like, oh, this is an extra, not this is an actor.
Yeah.
So it's better to do, like, take some acting workshops or classes or whatever.
Yep.
And
If you want to be an extra to get familiar with, like, what it's like being on set, then that's great. But if you're trying to be an extra to get bigger roles, the better way to do that is to get an acting class or get an agent that's going to book you not extra work or send you out on those auditions. Next.
Okay, hold on. What is the funniest story you have about a time you had to improv?
I don't have a lot of crazy stories. I feel like there is one. I don't remember. Sorry, guys. I don't really,
You
mostly my improvs have had to be like covering someone's line if they messed up or saying it for them if they forgot to say it. Like, that's what my improv on stage has been.
Did you have a funny one from Christmas Carol last year?
Christmas Carol
Something
last
was totally
year.
wrong, or someone did something, or someone gave you something.
Oh, that wasn't improv. That was just me breaking character because I broke character, but my fellow actress on stage was very funny and made me laugh. And then when I had to say my line, I had a really hard time.
Okay.
So don't do that. Don't follow that example, folks.
What advice do you have for calming audition nerves?
There's no advice. I'm just kidding.
Keep trying.
My main advice for the long term to calm audition nerves is just like keep auditioning, keep singing for people, keep doing whatever makes you nervous. Try to find ways to do it more often, which sounds horrible. But I used to get so nervous singing for people. I still do. I still get nervous. But I made a decision at one point that I was like, you know what? If I ever have an opportunity to sing for people, I'm going to take it because I don't want to feel this nervous every time I sing for people. So I started taking those opportunities, and it's gotten so much better for me. I still get nervous, but I can kind of manage those nerves in a healthy way. The other thing that helps me with auditions is to just know, like, well, for one thing, you should have fun. Like, if you're not having fun doing it, then what's the point? And also, there is so little in your control. So prepare as much as you can. Obviously, prep your audition, prep your callback. But like once you're there, try not to stress out about it because you've prepped your stuff. And beyond that, they could just cast someone because they have blue eyes and you have brown eyes, or because they're an inch taller than you, or...
Tell them about when Talise got cast in... Remember this story?
Oh, when Talise got cast in Daddy Day Camp?
Yeah.
She walked in the room, had not read the scene, basically, and they looked at her and they were like, oh, this is the girl we want to use because she has the right look. And that's true.
The guy said that he told her later, he said, man, I hope she can act.
Yeah, man, I hope she can act because because we're going to cast her. And that's true in film and theater. So you can prep all you want, and you should be as prepared as you can be because that definitely pays off. But so many times it also just comes down to things that are completely out of your control. So knowing that...
So
helps you not be...
Preparing gets you to an audition, to a callback.
Sometimes preparing gets you to a callback.
Well, without preparation, that wouldn't.
Right. If you don't prepare, you usually won't get a callback.
Right.
Preparing gets you to a callback, but actually getting cast is completely beyond your control. So as far as nerves go, just try to teach yourself that, like, if... This is something that I believe, that if you are meant to play a role, if this production is going to be really important for you, then you will get it. And if it's not, if it's going to be more important for someone else to play that role, then they will get it. Or if there's something that you need to learn by not getting cast, then that's what's going to happen. So just try to look at everything as a learning experience. And I pray before auditions a lot and through the whole audition. I'm like sending all the prayers up to help me not be nervous and help me do well.
Okay. What's a good way to help you get into character?
Okay, this is something I learned in college. For me, it helps, and this is easier for some characters than for others, to find some physical thing that your character does and do that. And I don't want to say, like, I don't want that to come across as, like, oh, this is how my character holds their hand, which is very unnatural, but I decided that's what my character's doing. But, like, for example, if you had a character that maybe fiddled with her ring, and you needed to get in character backstage, you could start fiddling with your ring, and that would help you do that. The one this flashes me back to the most is when I played my autistic character. I gave her a tic where she like flings her hands and kind of rocks back and forth. I mean, and she doesn't do this constantly, but like if she's stressed out or excited. So backstage before the show, I would kind of walk around like this, and it like immediately brought me into that character.
Okay.
Some people say music helps them. I've never really done the music thing, but
I think someone else asked how do you deal with nerves, which we've done before. How do you fake your cry so that it goes quickly?
You don't. Some people have that special skill, and honestly, I think that's like one thing that sometimes I'm like, I should develop the ability to just drop tears. What I really believe is that crying tears is not as effective as feeling the emotion. So if you're supposed to be sad, it's going to be more effective if you are actually feeling the sad and not crying than if you're crying and not feeling the sad. Does that make sense? But also practice like that, which sounds silly, but when I auditioned for Fiddler on the Roof, I decided that I wanted to be able to cry in case I got called back for Hava. And I like went in my room and just would read the scene and try to get into it and just like make myself cry. Now I cry over everything, so it's not that big of a thing. But I still don't do the instant tears. For me, that's it's like a party trick that some actors can do that comes in handy sometimes. But yeah, my only answer is actually feel it. Like that's the only way I've ever been able to get myself to cry, and it gets easier with practice.
So this kind of it says, do you have theater tips for me because I'm in a Frozen Junior play? So maybe just like, maybe it's her first play. Like, what tips can you give to people who are just starting out in theater that will help them have success?
Learn your lines, learn your music, be flexible. So sometimes things will change the last second, like you'll have blocked a scene one way and then it changes. Just roll with it. Like just go with it and learn stuff and pick it up as much as you can. Listen to the director, be kind to people around you, be supportive of your fellow actors, even if they got a better role than you, even if you're jealous and you really wanted it, be supportive. Life is so much better. Guys, and this is something I'm still learning all the time, okay? Life is so much better if we just all cheer each other on. Like, why be angry at someone for something they can't control, getting cast over you? They can't control that. That's the director. So just be friends with people. Just support them, and they'll support you back. And just be professional and prepared.
And make sure you never give coaching, acting.
Ooh, never give acting notes to another actor if you are not the director. That's like, no.
Never.
Real.
Even when they're doing it totally wrong, like you could say, "Oh, hey, I thought you were supposed to be over here on this part." No,
You don't say that.
Okay.
If something's massively wrong, the director will notice it. If someone is doing something that's unsafe, then you can bring it up to the director. Don't bring it up to the person. Bring it up to the director. So yeah, don't give someone else notes.
Okay. How to pick a great audition song. One of the hardest things.
This is okay. Should I tell them about our upcoming project that I'm working on, or should we keep that top secret?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. So we are working on, actually, I keep shuffling around in this seat. I've been writing a book for you guys that is basically how do I get into acting. Hey, Bruce being needy. Do you need to come up here? So I've been writing a book on how to get into acting. I just want to try to help you guys, like give you the knowledge that I have from doing this for years and years and years, telling you how to choose an audition song.
It'll be an ebook.
It'll be an ebook, yeah. Basically all the stuff that you've been asking me, those answers will be, you'll go even more in depth in the book that I'm writing. So stay tuned, follow us on Instagram, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on our lives too. What was the question?
The question was, how do you pick a great
An audition song. It's similar to a great audition monologue, which is you just gotta listen to a lot of music and first of all, know your vocal type. That is majorly important. So if you're not good at belt, don't choose a belt song for your audition. If you are not good at singing super, super high soprano, then don't choose a soprano-y song. I guess I could go on for so long about this, but the basics are choose what character you are hoping to get cast as in the show and listen to songs that are similar to what that character sings or to what that character's personality is, and then find a song like that that fits your vocal type and sing that.
That's great. Someone said they want to know if Burn from Hamilton is a good song choice for an audition.
I would not sing anything from Hamilton because it's very popular right now. So maybe in like 30 years, Hamilton could be a good audition song, but you don't want to sing audition songs from super popular musicals. So you don't want to sing an audition song from Wicked, or usually not from Les Mis still, even though that show's old. Usually not from Phantom of the Opera. Not Dear Evan Hansen. Like, anything that's on Broadway right now, probably don't sing a song from that.
Unless it's brand new on Broadway and people haven't heard it.
Right, or unless it's a fail on Broadway and people haven't heard of it. Yeah, so don't sing a song from Hamilton. Choose stuff, the more obscure the musical, the better.
Because you want to stand out. You don't want to show up.
Yeah,
First of all, two things. If you pick a song that everyone has heard a million times,
they're going to compare you. So, for example, if you were going to sing Burn from Hamilton, everyone who hears that song is going to compare you to Philippa Sue. And nobody wants to be compared to Philippa Sue, okay? We can't sing like her. So, but you can sing like you. So you want to choose a song that they're just going to hear and appreciate you singing it rather than comparing you to the icon that sings it. And you don't want to choose a song that everyone else is going to be singing. So, yeah.
answered the monologue question, but just in case they weren't on right then, she said, do you have any tips on resources for finding monologues? We posted those in the chat.
We posted some links. Stageagent.com is the one that I use. The biggest resource is go to your library and read a lot of plays. But it's really time consuming.
Ask past theater teachers too.
Yes.
Like
They can help.
all right. So we already talked about being nervous for auditions. So if you missed that, then you can go back and watch it. We also talked about how acting in film is different from theater, but they asked, is it easy to transition from one to the other, from film acting to theater acting?
Yes and no. I think it depends how you are trained to a degree. So there are a lot of people who train in theater and they give off very showy performances, and they don't necessarily learn how to access their emotions. They just learn how to like show emotions, which is not the style that I recommend, but that's how a lot of people are trained. They're going to have a harder time going into film because film is all about being real. Which ultimately theater should be too. Theater should be you being real, just bigger. But I think ultimately if you train the muscles that help you be a good storyteller and help you connect with other people and help you connect with your emotions, those things are things that you're going to be able to easily translate over to film acting.
That's good. How do you get an agent?
You send your headshot and resume to a bunch of agencies and meet with them. And I would not advise, like, don't just sign with the first person who contacts you necessarily, because not all agencies are good. So if you know other actors in the area, like, ask around, see what reputations different agencies have, because there are some who will charge you a bunch to take all these fancy classes or charge you for being in their agency. An agent should not charge you money unless you have booked a job. So like if you're not earning money, the agency should not be taking money from you. And if you are earning money, they should only be taking like 10 or 15% of what you're earning.
They should not require to use their photographers?
Yeah, you should not be required to use their photographers for headshots. Yeah, so, but also just like meet with agencies, see who's excited about you, see who feels good, see who you click with, and sign with them.
Having an agent who's excited about you is better than having
A big
really
agent.
Big agent.
Yeah, so like say Lindsay Lohan, I don't know why that name came to my head. Say, who's popular? Say Tom Holland's agent came to you, or you like begged Tom Holland's agent to sign you, and they for some reason agreed, but they didn't care about you. They're never going to send you on auditions. Where if you have like a smaller agent who maybe doesn't have known talent yet, but they are stoked about you and they're going to tell your name to every single person, you're going to get a lot more work.
Also, one more thing is some agents focus on extra work, and if you don't want to do extra, you need to distinguish
what you want to focus on.
Yeah.
And you should talk to your agent about that too. You know, if you're interested in modeling or voiceover work or whatever. And I know in New York there are theater agents too. I assume the situation is the same as film agents. They don't have those in Utah, but
They do in California too.
yeah, there are theater agents in California too. So yeah, just meet with your agent, shop around.
Okay, the next question we already answered. So here's another one. Who would you play if you were in Waitress?
Dawn, definitely.
Oh yeah, guys, Camrey did a really great performance of Dawn. If you watched her Instagram live,
Thanks, Mom.
it's so good. Okay,
Jenna would be fun, but
okay, I'm auditioning for Trix in the Drowsy Chaperone since she mostly sings.
I'm Trix, the aviatrix, queen of the sky.
How do you act while you're singing?
Ah ha ha. It's the same as acting while you're not singing, but it definitely takes practice. A lot of us, me included, when we're singing, we're focused all of our focus tends to go to, okay, does this sound good? Am I being loud enough? Am I singing this note correctly? And sometimes we get like glossy, pasty face look. What you want to do is treat your song like a monologue, basically, or like a conversation if it's a duet, or so an exercise that a lot of people will do is actually speaking your song, which feels really stupid, but say, I'm Trix, the aviatrix. I'm queen of the sky. Like, and see how you would act it if you weren't singing it, and then take those choices into the song when you're singing it.
That's really good. It makes a huge difference, actually. I've seen the transformation in our acting classes.
Yeah.
When people do that. Okay. In theater, this is our last question. Oh. Nope, I just got another one. In theater, how do you work with a director that pushes you so much that you aren't really having fun or enjoying it anymore?
Just try to find joy in it. I don't know. That's hopefully your director is teaching you good things. I think just try to approach it as a learning experience. Like, what can you learn from this director pushing you? What can you take away from the experience? I don't know. I like being pushed by directors, so I've never had a situation where...
It was pretty stressful for you, though, when you were working on your autistic role.
Yeah, but I feel like I was pushing myself, though.
Oh.
Like, I don't feel like Tracy was ever being like, Camrey, you have to give me this. I expected that from myself. But I've worked with with a handful of pretty demanding directors. Even if they're not directly demanding, you know that they're like expecting perfection. But I guess I kind of thrive under that, so I don't know what.
I think sometimes you have a director who's really bossy and has taken the joy out of it, and it's not necessarily
And that you
because
don't love
they're-
their creative vision.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
that
hard.
happens. My advice for that
It's
is
gonna
just
happen.
try to connect with the show. Like, try to remember why you're doing this and find joy in the performance, and just know that, like, you're only stuck with this director for probably at most a couple months.
And never badmouth the director.
Yeah, don't
Ever.
talk bad about a director. Don't talk bad about anyone in the industry, guys. This acting industry is so tiny, and word gets around like crazy. So just be kind to everyone.
I'm sorry. Do you have any advice for working specifically on Sondheim material? Into the words.
I love Sondheim. Okay, my advice for working on Sondheim: get a good voice teacher, or get someone who's good musically, especially if you are not as good at rhythm in particular. Sondheim is hard because it's frequently very quick, and the rhythm is interesting, and the intervals in the notes are not what we are used to singing in everything else, which is why he's just brilliant. He's so good, you guys. As far as like performing Sondheim, his ideas move so quickly and transition, like flip-flop a lot. So I think really identify where the shifts are in the storytelling of the song and play those. Play all the different ideas. Don't just play it flatline, because Sondheim is so many dimensions. I love him.
That's actually really good advice for all songs.
Yes.
Every song has more than one.
Every song has more than, if you're singing a song and all you're singing is sad emotion, you're probably not giving it as much as you could be. So find the coloring of anything that you do. Songs, monologues. If it's all one emotion, you can probably bring more to it.
And which brings us to the next question: how do you get into the right kind of emotion? Kind of already answered that, but maybe figuring out.
For me, this seems like a, well, no duh, Camrey answer, but for me it just comes down to like being in character and being in the scene that you're in. Like for me, it's a lot, I keep saying for me. It's so much harder to just say, okay, now I have to be mad, and try to make yourself mad by thinking that you have to be mad. But if you think through the character's thought process and why they are feeling the way that they're feeling, and if you really are in your scene and you're listening to the actors around you and you're thinking as your character thinks, the emotions are going to come naturally.
Tell me about your thing with the dad in Honolulu and Anne. And the dad cries.
My thing with the dad and Honolulu
No,
and
and someone
Anne.
said, how do you just cry like
Oh.
that? And you're like, because my dad died. I have to leave, so.
Okay, buddy.
Kinda
Yeah.
busy.
My mom's abandoning me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My mom wants me to tell you the story of Honolulu and Anne. So I did this short film about, it's a true story, about Anne Frank's best friend who ended up in the same concentration camp as Anne Frank, and found out that they were on opposite sides of the fence, and Honolulu threw food over the wall to Anne Frank. anyway, as we were filming that, there was one scene where Hanali's dad dies, and she walks into the hospital, and his bed is empty. And you guys, I was a wreck during it. I was just sobbing and sobbing. And afterwards, I went back to change my hair and makeup for the next scene, or just, I don't remember, I was getting crafty or something. And someone was like, whoa, how did you make the tears happen? I was like, because it's super sad. Like, my dad just died as the character, you know? So I think really the way to find the emotion is just to try to be in your character. And if you have to start a scene with an emotion and you don't get the time in the scene to find that, try to find it before you come on stage and get in your character's thoughts, and it'll bring you into the world. My mom's gone, so I'm using this laptop now to read your questions. Okay. They said, this is more of a directing question than an acting question, but do you have any advice on gaining respect from actors who are the same age as you when placed in the position of being a student director? This is tough, you guys. It's hard, especially if you're working with friends. It tends to be even harder. But I think the biggest thing is just like set your expectations and communicate those expectations with everyone else. Even if you want to like type out a contract, like, hey, this is what I expect from you. This is what you can expect from me. And if everyone is on the same page, then if they're not doing something, you can be like, hey, you know what? We agreed that you were going to show up to rehearsal on time. And when you don't show up to rehearsal on time, that this is what happens. Like, this is the consequence. Or even if you don't want to like pull the consequence, talk to them. Like, look, I'm on your team. I want us to work together. I want us to have a good time. But I need to be in charge here, and you need to respect that I'm the director. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the questions in the description right now. I'm going to go back up and answer a couple like parts of questions that we missed. If you have a question that you want answered, we're not really reading them off of there. We're reading them off of the link in the description. Click on it and you can type your question. We have about 10 more minutes. Someone says, have you ever done Cinderella? And if so, what part would you suggest for a slightly experienced actress? I have not done Cinderella. I would love to play. I would love to be in that someday. But I feel like I would not suggest a part based on how much experience you have, but based on your character type. So if you like playing funny characters, then I would suggest one of the stepsisters. Well, Charlotte is the funny stepsister, I think. Charlotte, or like maybe the fairy godmother or the stepmother. If you like to play more genuine characters, then maybe you want to go for Cinderella or go for Gabrielle, the other stepsister. I think those are all the female roles in that show. So yeah, what experience you have isn't going to determine what roles you're good for necessarily. It helps to have experience, but that's not going to change what type of role you fit in a way. What is a good Golden Age musical to use a song from for an audition? Again, that depends on the show, that depends on the character, which I realize that's probably not the answer you wanted to hear. But just go look up all the Golden Age musicals. Like, you can type in on Google, what are the Golden Age musicals? Listen to them, find a song. If it's an older and more obscure musical, there's a bigger chance that your song is not going to get used. So, like songs from Oklahoma and Sound of Music and like The King and I, those audition songs get used all the time when it comes to Golden Age auditions because that's the shows that people know. So try to not use stuff from that. Don't use Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Don't use Fiddler on the Roof. Try to find the old stuff. I have this book that I got for college. It's called Broadway Musicals, Show by Show, and it literally lists every Broadway musical, every show that's been on Broadway from 1866 to whenever this was published. This was published in 2007. So obviously this book's about 10 years old. There's probably an updated version of it. But yeah, lists all the musicals. So if you want to look at old musicals, Check it out. Also, I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page listing every Broadway musical that's ever existed. Okay. What is your favorite Hamilton song? That's not an acting question. Probably right now my favorite song is That Would Be Enough. Do I like The Never-Ending Story? Yes. If you want to become a successful actor, how many classes a week should you do? That's an interesting question. I grew up doing one acting class a week for a lot of years, probably 7 years of my life. I was doing an acting lesson every week. But I was also doing what's going to be, in a lot of ways, even more helpful than a private acting lesson is actually getting experience. So audition for shows, and when you're in a show, you frequently have rehearsals every night or a couple times a week. Or if you're taking a theater class in high school or in college, you'll usually have that class twice a week or 3 times a week. So yeah, there's not like a number for how many classes you should take a week, but I think just being involved in general when you can be is great. And if you don't have something, like if you're not able to take a class right now or you're not able to be in a show, then spend that time looking for monologues and memorizing monologues or learning new songs. There are things that you can do on your own if you're unable to get yourself in a class or you're not in a production right now. Okay, my form is reloading, which means I think that someone submitted a question. Hey, our thing has not paused yet during the live. It usually pauses and freaks out. I hope I didn't just jinx it. Okay, we've got about 5 more minutes. Sorry, I'm trying to load the other questions. It's struggling. Hello? Baby, come back to me. In my heart, I still believe we were meant to be. Okay. Is this loaded? Okay, I'm gonna hurry and hop over to the video and read some questions from the comments. If you wrote your question in the comment, there's a good chance I didn't see it. So if you wanted me to see your question, go to the link in the description. How to cry, we kind of talked about that earlier. Just find the honest emotion. Don't try to force yourself to cry. It'll be more sad if your character is feeling it and not crying than if they're crying and not feeling it. What the heck? I'm closing that. I'm trying to open my link again. It's struggling. Guys, I don't know why my Google Doc isn't working anymore, so I guess ask your questions on the live video, because my doc isn't working now. But these have been some really good questions, guys. Thank you for asking all of these. It's been fun to answer them. I do drama class at school, and I go to a drama club outside of school. That's awesome. Would Losing My Mind from Follies be a good audition song? Yeah, that's a good one. Wait, is Follies... Who wrote Follies? Was that Sondheim? So Losing My Mind is a good one, especially if you're like in high school. Like a lot of people probably don't know that song. If you are an adult woman who is actually the right age to play that role, I actually wouldn't suggest Losing My Mind because somebody is probably going to sing it at your audition because it's sort of popular, not crazy popular, but oh yay, you're back in your house. I'm glad they lifted the evacuation order. My username is not JRFox86. Where did that come from? That's my husband's. I have heard of the musical called Six. We might do a song from it. I haven't actually listened to all of it. I've listened to like a clip of it. So, oh, hi, Jeremy. Jeremy's here! Yay! How exciting. Whoa, this video's way behind what I was doing. Sorry, on my computer it's way behind than, so, interesting. I'm gonna try to reload the acting questions. Oh no. Oh dear. What have I done? Sorry guys, sorry, I'm just like trying to figure out my... Hey, I got the questions to load. I think you would enjoy the books Jack and Louisa. It's by 2 Broadway actors. Cool, I'll check it out. Has acting made you a better public speaker? This is a good question. Conversationist, effective speaking, anything else speaking wise, or were you always good at that? You carry the conversation well during live streams. That is, okay. First of all, thank you. Thank you for thinking that I carry the conversation well. Second of all, I am not a good public speaker. To a degree. Okay, let me try to explain this in depth. In my church, they sometimes ask us to give talks in church, and I get so nervous, you guys, when I have to like write something myself and present it. I get so nervous, and I like talk really fast, and I'm not great. I think some people don't notice that I'm nervous, but I feel so nervous, and I rush through everything. So I would not consider myself a good public speaker because I get pretty flustered. To me, acting and public speaking are very different, because in public speaking, I am me, and in acting, I am a character. So I get less nervous as the character because it's the character that's on stage doing these things. It's not me like sharing my personal feelings and thoughts. And mostly, I don't have to come up with my own things to say. If someone else wrote me a speech and I had to give their speech, that'd be so much easier for me. So in that sense, public speaking is easier because of acting, because I've learned how to like speak clearly and how to project and how to add emotion into things, even if I'm reading them for the first time. So acting has helped me in that way, but it has not helped me. Maybe it's helped me. I don't know how bad I would be if I wasn't an actor, but I still get very, very nervous sharing my own thoughts over a pulpit in a formal setting. But in a conversational setting, I'm not nervous. Even like teaching a class, I don't get super nervous. But like presenting a speech, I do get nervous. Do you have any tips on auditioning for a classical piece when you're more accustomed to contemporary pieces? It depends on if you're talking about plays or musicals, to a degree. Some of it's the same. Classical, if you're talking like a time period show, one of the biggest things that will make a difference in you being seen as a character for that show is how you carry yourself. So having good posture rather than like slouching like we do in contemporary. Like in Pride and Prejudice, you would never see someone sitting like this. You know, they'd be very upright because they're wearing corsets and they're trained to be proper all the time. So think about your physicality a lot. If you're talking about singing classical pieces as opposed to contemporary pieces, just what I say to people who are used to singing like poppy songs and then they want to go classical, I'm like, okay, sing your song as if you were an opera singer. Like go full out, feel silly, and just be like, whoa! And then take that back to a controlled level, but don't make it poppy. So don't do like slides on the notes, and don't do like riffy poppy things on it. I don't know if that was helpful at all. What role should you start with if you are barely starting? Whatever role you can get. That's the only answer I can give you. Just audition for stuff and go where they put you and learn what you can from that. You can learn a lot, even if you're not playing the lead in a musical. If you're playing an ensemble member, or you're playing a smaller person who maybe has one line or whatever, you can learn a lot from that. Okay. It's 4:33, so I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you for coming to the live and putting up with just a Camrey only live. My siblings all ditched me. Just kidding. They're all busy doing various things. Yeah, I really liked talking to you guys and answering your questions. Oh, someone just sent me a thank you on the message board. Hopping over. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to try to figure out how to end this live. I hate that I have to, like, come up here and... Okay, goodbye.